Last time I took the bike, the Brompton, I have from the last stop on Metro North, from Poughkeepsie across the pedestrian bridge to New Paltz, and specifically to the beautiful Huguenot Village, or Huguenot Street, if you want to call it that. In this ride that I'm going to show you, I've gone quite a bit further. It's not a huge distance. From the train station, it's 16 miles only. But look at the elevation. At first, you're just moving along up to this point. So you go past New Paltz, and this is like some farm fields with corn and stuff. In here, there is a long, steady elevation until you get up to this plateau. You're basically going up over 1,000 feet. Once you get past the bridge, you are really just a few feet above sea level. But then you go up to a total of 1,286 feet. And the nature here, the white areas are where cars can go, but most of the areas it is forbidden to cars. In fact, some of the areas are also prohibited to bikes, and I saw some weird signs showing no mountain bikes. So you would be okay on your Brompton, but you're not okay on a mountain bike. Even a track bike or like a road bike would be okay, but not the mountain bike. In any case, you can go all the way to the lake and to this house. And this house, this Mohonk mountain house, is not a cheap place. I mean, the cheapest hotel here, it's a 3-star hotel, and the cheapest price is $900 a night, which is not very surprising given the location. This is an astonishing mountaintop lake, and I don't know how a lake like that could form, because lakes typically form when springs and rivers congregate and bring a lot of water into a valley, and that's just not the case here, because this is really the top of a mountain. So there are really no springs or anything here. This would have to be rainwater, I assume, or maybe the snow melts in the spring, and that's where the water comes from. I have no idea. The elevation is way above sea level. For the most part, initially, you are riding on paved regular streets, regular roads, but when you get up to the plateau, which I think is part of the property of the house, in any case, it's kind of half private, but anybody can ride in. You could stay on the paved roads, or you could take some dirt paths, some gravel paths, which is what I ended up taking. And there are these amazing outlook positions where you can see the mountains in the distance. I think these mountains must be the Catskill Mountains, or the edge of the Catskills area, whatever they are called. And there is only one property at the lake at the very top, and that's this $900 a night plus resort, which I'm zooming into now. I don't know when this was built. It looks like parts of it were built in different times. Probably the end of it might have been mid-20th century or close to that. And here is my Brompton that brought me up here. I saw incredible wildlife. These are some hogs, but I saw a full-sized eagle. I don't know what kind of eagle it was. Was not an American bald eagle. Something different, very dark in color, and all kinds of birds and wildlife just in general. Hawks you see even in Central Park, but not really eagles. Eagles are seriously rare in the city, even along the Hudson Valley, except for this place. This place is amazing. If you are with a car, you can drive all the way up to the property, but you have to have a reservation with the hotel. So you cannot just pop in and maybe carry some folding bikes and just walk around or ride around. If you're coming up with the car, you have to have permission from the hotel, which comes with a reservation, which is going to be pretty expensive. On the other hand, you could hike up to this property and you can ride a bike up there like I have. I'm not sure if you could do anything with a moped or a scooter. Probably it would count as a motorized vehicle and they would not allow it unless you had the reservation. You can reserve a hotel room or you can reserve space in the restaurant. So I think you could come up here if you had a dinner reservation, even if you did not stay the night. The lake is reasonably clean, although not the cleanest I have seen. You can rent kayaks. There is a teeny tiny beach sort of area where you can jump in, but it's very tiny. It's really just for a dip. The buildings themselves have a weird style. I don't know where to put them. It really doesn't look very charming, but it seems to be well maintained. The star rating is only 3 stars, which is surprising, especially for the price of what it costs to stay here for a night. I was expecting at least 4 stars. The land around the house is well maintained. You can play golf. They have a stable, I assume with horses, although I did not see anybody riding them. I did see people playing golf. And for the most part, it's just hanging around. People hang around. Apparently, it's very hard to get up here, even on a bicycle. So it's all customers, pretty much. This is a beautiful place, but to me, the most spectacular part was the wildlife. This is a juvenile fox I saw, and I really wished I had a bag of dog food with me because he seems rather skinny. And I was worried about his safety because people do drive on these roads, the customers. There isn't a lot of traffic, but there is traffic. I'm sorry about the shaking camera, but there was a car coming and I tried to warn them to slow down, and luckily they slowed down and the fox survived. But he kept on walking back onto the road, and I'm not sure why. Just an amazing moment. I mean, how often do you come across wildlife like this? Not in New York City, although they do exist. Sometimes coyotes and things like that wander down from the Bronx, but that's rare. And here is my Brompton Interceptor that brought me up here. Since it's electric, it was no big deal. I did manage to burn up about 20% of the battery charge that I had. But on the way back, when you come down, since I have regenerative braking, you do get some of that energy back. Not the whole of it. Maybe 40%, maybe 1/3 of what it took to climb up to 1,200 feet. I also took a bunch of still shots, which I am including here. Obviously the shots are much better, the stills, than the video. I still don't know what I'm doing with the video part, but the thing is, I think next time I'm going to bring the GoPro, because the GoPro has excellent image stabilization, but it does not have a zoom. And my semi-pro camera does have an excellent zoom. And that's how I was able to capture the fox and some of these other shots. Just a beautiful, tranquil place. Would I pay $900 to spend the night there? Probably not anytime soon. That's the price of a plane ticket to South America, so. But this is just one example of how much a bicycle, especially an e-bike, opens up places to you which would be otherwise either prohibitively expensive to go into or just excessively tiring. I've encountered several groups that actually hiked from New Paltz up to this plateau, and one group says that they gave up. I met them somewhere halfway up, and they said that they gave up. And so it's not easy to get up there. You don't have to pay if you don't have a car or a motorcycle, but the energy it takes is just extreme. Whereas with the e-bike, I used up a bit of battery power, but it was no big deal at all. And the downhill lasted maybe 20 minutes from the plateau all the way back to the main highway. And I was just rolling down like crazy, regenerating energy and everything. An amazing trip. I will definitely be back, and next time I'm coming, I'm bringing a bag of dog food for the foxes.